Welcome to today's video. Kirk Dewayne Franklin, born in January 26, 1970, is an American gospel musician, choir director, and author. He is known for leading urban contemporary gospel choirs such as The Family, God's Property and One Nation Crew, and has won multiple awards, including 12 Grammy. Variety dubbed Franklin as a reigning king of urban gospel. He's even been named by People magazine as one of the sexiest men alive. On January 20, 1996, Franklin married longtime friend Tammy Collins. When they wed, they each had one child from previous relationships, Kirk's son Kerrion, born in 1988, and Tammy's daughter Carrington, whom he legally adopted, born in 1989. As a couple, they have 2 children together, a daughter named Kennedy, born in 1997, and a son named Caziah, born in 2000. This video shares 10 things you need to know about Kirk Franklin. Subscribe to this channel for this and more. 1. His early musical experience. Franklin was raised by his Aunt Gertrude, who took him in after his mother abandoned him as a small child. In order to allow Franklin to take piano lessons at the age of 4, his aunt collected aluminum cans. Franklin showed early promise as he was able to read, write and play music by ear almost right away. 2. First musical contracts. Franklin received an offer for his first musical contract when he was 7 years old. His aunt didn't allow him to sign the contract, but he joined the church choir and became music director of the Mount Rose Baptist Church Adult Choir at the age of 12. He eventually signed his first record deal with Kirk Franklin and The Family in 1992 at the age of 22. 3. He was addicted to pornography. While some become addicted to substances, Franklin said he became addicted to pornography. In a 2005 interview, Franklin told Oprah that the addiction developed when he was 8 years old and that he carried it with him into adulthood. Growing up, everybody's got a friend that's got that big brother that has the stash of pornographic magazines or videotapes under the bed, he says. From my first look, I was hooked. At the time, Franklin said he had been clean for more than 5 years. Kirk believes that the pornography affected him differently from most boys because it filled a void left by a broken home. I was adopted when I was 4, he says. The woman who adopted me, she was 64 years old. My mama didn't want me, my daddy wasn't there. So there were a lot of insecurities and low self-esteem. For me, the porn was like company. When he was 15, Kirk says he began getting serious about his faith and went to his pastor to talk about his struggle with pornography. He sat back in his chair, and he took a puff out of his cigar, Kirk remembers. He said, "Oh, you're young, you'll grow out of it." He had no idea that he spoke death into his life. That shut him down because he thought someday he'll grow out of it. Instead, he grew in and he grew in deep. Kirk thought marriage would fix his obsession with pornography. But that's when he started realizing how much it was an addiction. He found himself sneaking to watch videos while his wife Tammy was sleeping and craving porn more than ever. When marriage didn't erase his feelings of loneliness, he realized the severity of his compulsion. Then he had to accept that he had a problem. Kirk once felt so much self-disgust over his porn collection that he drove far away from his house to throw it away. "I tried to go to sleep that night, and it was literally like a drug calling me," he remembers. "About 3 or 4 in the morning, in my flip-flops and boxers, I got in my car and drove back to that dumpster and dug, looking for my porn." Kirk says that this rock-bottom moment helped him realize the serious nature of his addiction, and he soon came clean to his wife. Kirk says he has worked hard to overcome his addiction. People in his church community, he says, helped him find fulfillment in his music and faith. 4. He is an author. In addition to being a platinum-selling musician, Kirk is also a best-selling author. His book, which was published by Gotham Penguin, is called The Blueprint, A Plan for Living Above Life's Storms, and was on the New York Times bestseller list. 5. He became a father at age 17. According to NPR.org, Kirk recalls being abandoned by his mother as a child and becoming sexually active before becoming a teenager, which led to a youth filled with promiscuity. At age 17, he became a father. It became a thing of trying to fill in those love holes, he says. 6. A friend's death made him change his ways. According to NPR.org, after losing a childhood friend to gun violence, Franklin relied on his faith to change his ways. His friend's death, he says, taught him a lesson. Death does not discriminate, he recalls, saying it came as an epiphany. But I was still missing a blueprint. After the shooting, Franklin returned to the church, where he began to direct the choir once again. He also co-founded a gospel group, the Humble Hearts, which recorded one of Franklin's compositions and got the attention of gospel music legend Milton Bigham. Impressed, Bigham enlisted him to lead the DFW Mass Choir in a recording of Franklin's song Every Day with Jesus. This led to Bigham hiring Franklin, just 20 years old at the time, to lead the choir at the 1990 Gospel Music Workshop of America convention, a major industry gathering. 7. Franklin is active in television, as well. He's the host and executive producer of Sunday Best on the BET Network. According to BET.com, he is a pioneer of the urban contemporary gospel sound. Franklin can be credited with giving devotional music a new edge and bringing gospel music to the hip-hop generation. 8. He was expelled from school. According to DetroitNews.com, despite a strict religious upbringing, the Fort Worth, Texas, native rebelled in his teen years, getting expelled from school and a girlfriend pregnant. "Oh boy, I was in trouble all the time," he said during a telephone interview with the Detroit News while in Pittsburgh. "Back then it was considered wild and hyper, but I probably had ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It was not ever looked at as good or attractive, but now that energy comes in handy, I guess." That he'd lost his way for a while is understandable. After all, he'd been abandoned by his parents and was adopted at age 4 by his Aunt Gertrude. 9. Kirk Franklin's net worth is estimated at $8.5 million. A gospel singer and author, Kirk Franklin first rose to prominence in the early 90s, performing with the group he founded, which came to be known as Kirk Franklin and the Family. Their debut album went on to sell over 1 million copies. He has won multiple Grammy Awards and has been performing as a solo artist since 2000. In 1992, Franklin organized The Family, which is a 17-voice choir, formed from neighborhood friends and associates. In 1992, Vicky McLatellade, the co-founder of fledgling record label Gospocentric, heard one of their demo tapes and was so impressed she immediately signed up Kirk and the Family to a recording contract. The group released Watch a Look in 4 Inches in 1996. The album was certified 2 times platinum and earned Franklin his first Grammy Award for Best Contemporary Soul Gospel Album. 10. Kirk Franklin studied music with Jewel Kelly and the Singing Chaparrals at Oscar Dean Wyatt High School. He was under her tutelage for music direction as she allowed him to be the pianist for the choir. Thank you for watching.